So this video is for anybody who's thinking about quitting. And it's also to kind of let you know what I'm made of. And maybe Gen X has made this. I think most of Gen X is probably made this way anyway. So I was watching the Native Land podcast and they were talking about a lady asked the question, should we be a part of No King's Day? And everybody had a different answer, but Andrew Gillum was talking and he got emotional. He's talking about how sometimes people have to do things without knowing what the outcome is going to be. Sometimes you just got to go through things. You just got to believe that it's going to work out the way you want it to work out. Whether you're a part of the protest or not a part of the protest, whatever it is that you're going to do during this time, if you decide to protest in whatever way you do, believe that it's going to work out the way you want it to work out. But don't just sit down and not do anything. So I'm telling you that because I want to tell you this story about years ago, back in I think it was like 1995. I got fired from my very first job. So I got this little part-time job working like 3 hours a day unloading trucks. And at that time, it was the hardest job I'd ever had. So every time you open that truck up, the boxes come falling out. And I worked the week, and I went back the next week, Monday. And the manager told me after I got done unloading the truck, he said, man, the guys didn't think you were coming back. Everybody on that line had a bet that you wouldn't be back this week. And I looked at him and said, yeah, I thought about it. So I was I went out to my parents' house, and I had my own place. And I went to my parents' house, and I was sitting on the porch talking to my dad, and my mom stuck her head out the door, and I was telling them what the guy said. I said that the guys had a bet that I wasn't going to come back Monday. And my pops goes, you could have quit. And my mom goes, yeah, why didn't you quit? And I looked at the two of them and I said, I couldn't tell the two of you that I quit something because it was too hard. I couldn't look at my mom and dad in the eye and tell them that I quit something because it was too hard. Now, what we're facing as a country, what we're facing as a people, it looks like it's too hard. But you shouldn't be able to look the people that are depending on you in the eye and say, and tell them that you quit something because it was too hard. I'm not going to be one of those individuals that's going to look at my son and look at my nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles who were on the front line. I'm not going to be one of those people that's going to look them in the eye and say, man, this thing's too hard. I got to quit. And most of you out there who are part of the Gen X community, most of you know what I'm saying is true. We're not built like that. And we don't bitch up just because something looks like it's difficult, because something looks like it's too daunting for us to get past. A Gen Xer, man, you got to kick my ass. You just can't tell me you're going to kick my ass. You got to kick it. And you got to do it a lot of times, bro. You need to bring your lunch, a supper, a dinner, whatever you need to bring with you. You're going to have to kick my ass in order to show me that this task is too daunting for me. And then I'll keep crawling. And then I'll keep moving. Because it's just not in me. And it's not in a lot of you. So in this moment when you think, man, I feel like quitting, I don't want to go on anymore. You ain't built like that. Your ancestors weren't built like that. Don't let anybody punk you into running from this country. Anybody punk you into staying in your house and not doing what it is that you feel like you want to do or need to do in order to make this needle move the way we want it to move. You got to have some faith. You got to believe that if you put in the work, it's going to work out the way you believe it's going to work out. And you can't quit. We don't have the option of quitting. We are black in America. We do not have the option of quitting on anything when it comes to fighting for our rights. We just don't. I love all of you, and I pray you're having a wonderful evening. I'll see you next time.